too as well, Maria. So he's having to, the suspect, the driver, is having to slow down a little bit. Now, for a time, it's possible that the driver thought that he or she was able to evade officers because, again, we had that handoff in agencies. It was the Lost Hills Sheriff's Station that picked this pursuit up initially, and then they handed it off, so to speak, to the California Highway Patrol. And that's what we're seeing here. The California Highway Patrol tracking this black Navigator, this big SUV, eastbound on the 101 freeway, coming out of Calabasas towards Tarzana now. Off into the fast lane, the far left lane there. And again, you can see the traffic's pretty heavy. And I'm looking up ahead, and it does appear to really slow as this stretch of the 101 makes its way through the valley floor, as we call it, towards the 405 freeway. It looks like a couple more units on scene here. Another one, according to the scanner traffic that we're listening to, approaching as well. We'll see how they handle this pursuit. We saw how it was handled this morning when that pursuit lasted a good couple of hours, making its way from the San Fernando Valley all the way down into northern San Diego County. You're exactly right, Lisa. In fact, as I look up ahead towards the east, towards the 405, towards Encino, traffic really does start to slow. Another half mile to a mile, you'll see traffic really starting to hit the brakes here. And already seeing that heavier volume here, and you could see the driver up against the center divider there, now picking up speed eastbound on the 101 freeway here, coming now out of the Tarzana area, making its way towards the 405 freeway. Once again, the driver was driving recklessly, now driving a little bit more recklessly, crossing across traffic here. Maybe he's going to try to get off the freeway again here. This Lincoln Navigator, possible DUI suspect. That's how it started near the border of L.A. and Ventura County to the west of where we are. And you could see traffic very heavy now, starting to slow, as I had indicated here, on the eastbound side of the 101 freeway. No, you're exactly right there, Maria. These cars consume a lot of gas very quickly. And here we go. So traffic is stopped here. This is all because of the heavy volume on this side of the 101 freeway. We'll see what happens here. CHP unit behind. He's staying inside his vehicle, trying to navigate around the back up here, but he really has nowhere to go. In fact, there was an accident that just happened, it appears, up ahead. So there's a possibility that that was part of the delay here. But the traffic loosens up a little bit, but then it does slow again on this stretch of the 101 freeway. Again, East 101 coming out of Tarzana now towards Encino on the 405 freeway. Yeah, 101 freeway just past DeSoto, coming up on Balboa here in just a bit, and then towards the 405 through Encino by the Sepulveda Basin, by the Sepulveda Dam. This Navigator here being pursued by the California Highway Patrol. The pursuit's been going on for a good half hour or so. And again, it started with sheriff's deputies from the Lost Hills Station in the far west end of the San Fernando Valley and L.A. County there. As we look in, you can see the window partially rolled down there, looking in at the driver. We cannot tell from our vantage point if there are any other occupants of this vehicle here. And he did start to drive more randomly once he saw those officers behind him. And now we're getting up on that stretch of the freeway, Lisa and Maria, that traffic is very heavy. Stop and go. This Ventura freeway, always busy, even during the middle of the day. So now going to kind of meander through traffic the best he can, trying to evade police, picking up speeds when he can, when it loosens up, staying mostly in that fast lane, that far left lane against the K-wall, that center divider wall here. This suspect is driving towards the 405 freeway. Yeah, just past Balboa now, Maria, and it looks to be about a mile or so to the 405 freeway. The traffic actually loosened up a little bit here, and just in the last few minutes from what we were looking up ahead when we were still to the west of this location. But the merge with the 405 is coming up here. The lanes are a little lighter here. Left lanes, left 2 lanes here, and we'll see if he starts to merge over to the right. Those are the transition roads to the 405, but it seems like he's, at least at this point, staying the course here in the left lanes. Off to the left of the freeway, here's the Sepulveda Basin, the Sepulveda Dam, the recreation area there, the golf course, and off to the right is Encino, and up ahead is the 405 freeway. He certainly is, because he has that option now that the freeway is lighter here. Again, it's the 101 freeway here. It's the eastbound side of the 101, very close to the 405 interchange, and it does appear, unless he makes a real sharp move off to the right, those transition lanes, he's going to stay on the 101 freeway. LAPD helicopter overhead and the CHP on the ground. Yeah, absolutely. And it certainly is, Lisa and Maria. The freeway is wide open here. I can see it from up here in Sky Fox at our altitude all the way to the 118 freeway. It looks just like this. Very light volume, no backup at all. The only backup will start when the 405 merges with the 5. That's several miles away up in the north end of the valley up near Silmar. This Navigator been pursued now for probably about 40, 45 minutes or so. It started in the Lost Hills, the far west end of the San Fernando Valley, 80 miles an hour, northbound 405 now at Burbank Boulevard. A CHP cruiser is down below with that SUV and that LAPD helicopter watching this all from above. And I can't tell on my monitors, and I always ask you guys if you can see anything unique on your monitors as we peer in at the driver's side there. First, yeah, that's pretty much what we see as well. So if you can tell the if it's a male or a female at this time, or I thought it was a female. That's what I just thought again as well. It's possible. So we'll see. We'll see. Initially, we had thought it was a male earlier this morning. Turned out being a female. And again, why this pursuit is going on is because this individual was driving erratically, and the CHP and sheriff's deputies down in the Lost Hills area thought that possibly driving under the influence, very erratic driving and behavior. And that's when the pursuit started. Again, when we say they lit him up, lights and siren, pull over, please. We got to check you out for something. And they decided not to. Pursuit's on. And that's a felony. And every traffic violation that's racked up during this time is considered fair game as well. Yeah, and what the mindset of these suspects are that are being chased, and that's always brought up with law enforcement, and how they have to handle that. Driving through traffic, trying to get away, their energy level, they're paranoid, obviously. They're trying to get away from police, and then officers are having to deal with that mindset. And that's the game that's played here, so to speak. And again, it's a challenging one for officers, and to make the call as to what to do, how to end the pursuit in a safe way, not to hurt anybody. If an opportunity arises for that pit maneuver, then that is definitely an option here. Spike strips, just because, as we had mentioned earlier, because there's been so many transitions made by the freeways, it's a lot more difficult to coordinate that. All right, making a transition again from the westbound 118 Ronald Reagan Freeway back onto the 405, but this time onto the south 405. So now we're going to be traveling southbound down the same stretch of the freeway that we traveled northbound from the 101 in Encino. No question. And we'll see, maybe they'll make their way back towards where this pursuit started. They'll make their way back to where they're comfortable with. As I always mention, a neighborhood that they're familiar with, where they feel they might have a better opportunity to evade police because they know the back alleys, they know the streets, they may know somebody they can duck into. A lot of times we see communication between the driver of these pursuits and people that they don't, like we saw this morning. A little bit more difficult for us to tell right now because of the fact that, and we'll get a little better shot there inside. So again, yep, I do too. I think it is a male. It is a male. So male driver here. Unclear if there's anybody else in there. No way we can see in the back of that vehicle with the tinted windows. Okay. There it is, though. We're still picking it up. We're doing the best we can. There you go. So we're still, even though we're right over LAX, we still got you guys covered the best we can, and traveling at a high rate of speed in the carpool lane, southbound side of the 405 freeway. Next option, 105 freeway, just on the south side of LAX. Yeah, this side perspective, right? Exactly right there, Maria, Lisa. From our side view here, as opposed to looking more down on top of it, you could see the car racing here, 90 miles an hour, southbound 405, approaching the 105 here. So let's see what they do. If they make the if this male suspect, this male Hispanic suspect, makes the transition to either the east or westbound 105, or stays the course on the southbound 405, which would take it down into the South Bay cities, Manhattan Beach, Torrance, and Hermosa. So far, still staying to the left, meaning that transition will not be made, and the pursuit will continue on the southbound side of the 405. And look at that. Another great shot there from up here in Skyfox HD for you. Crossing. Look at that, making a bold move across lanes. Again, it appears that the driver gets really frustrated when he has to slow down at all, and then makes his way over to the right here. We'll widen out a little bit more and give you a perspective of the traffic now coming up. He would have been wiser to stay to the left, because the main lines here are very busy on the South 405 through the South Bay curve, as we call it. Now veering back over to the left again. Yeah, around that traffic there. And just trying to evade police, trying to get away. He's not in custody yet, and he feels that he has a chance to get away. Unclear if he has a game plan in terms of a location he's headed, or is he's just kind of driving randomly towards an area where he thinks the traffic might be light, and he's able to evade police even longer. That was 2.5 hours from 4:30 to 7. It started, and it may have started slightly earlier than 4:30, but at least 2.5 hours. And this one now is an hour 20 minutes. So it's quite remarkable to see, and that will happen on occasions when the traffic is perfect, when the driver being pursued, the suspect, decides to stay on roadways where the volume is light, and officers are patient, and that's what we saw earlier this morning. Thankfully, nobody got hurt. We saw several close calls this morning. Seen a couple here, but so far so good in that nobody innocent has been hurt. They want to bring this to an end. They've already tried once on the spike strip. There's a possibility they may do that again. Deploy officers well up ahead to the south of this location on the South 405 in an area where officers can pull off into that center divider area and perhaps throw the strip across lanes, the carpool in the far left lane, before the driver here, the suspect, encounters that area and hopefully would disable the vehicle.
Still, suspect is able to evade police right now. We were told a little bit ago that the police were going to try to do another stop stick attempt. We haven't seen that yet, but this driver is in this Lincoln Navigator, and he has been leading a pursuit for a while now. He's been, on the shoulder. He's been in HOV lane. A little bit of everything right now. Hopefully this is going to end peacefully, though. Peacefully and safely. We don't want any innocent people getting hurt during this pursuit. It's just taken a long while. They've had many attempts to try to stop this guy, including stop sticks. Hasn't worked. This driver, though, isn't making any really erratic decisions, which is helping his case. He's kept the speed up, but he hasn't been really just going in and out of lanes. He kind of sticks to the two left lanes there, and if he has to, then he'll veer out to try to dodge some traffic. But for the most part, you can see this guy's been really just on the straight and narrow. So we'll see how this all comes together. But like I said, this is a very rare event. All right, folks, earlier I was saying, for those of you in the Fox 10 Facebook page, let me know how you think this is all going to end. Is it going to be him just basically stopping because he's cornered, or will there be a wreck?
And it could go in a number of places. In fact, this morning when we saw the pursuit, they exited on the Highway 76. 5 freeway here will connect with many freeways. We're going to get into a real urban area of San Diego County, first North County, and then into San Diego proper. It's much like Southern California with many freeway options here. All right, starting to slow down a little bit here. Could be out of gas.
Here we go.
Could be out of gas. Pulling off to the right shoulder here. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
He might be running on
now. What will
fumes
happen here? And I'm already seeing this. The CHP is holding traffic. No traffic is going to be able to get to the point of where this driver is. This male Hispanic, possibly in his 20s, traveling southbound on the 5. We're right at the San Onofre nuclear power plant, very close to the border of Orange County and San Diego County here. And here it is. Cars come to a stop, either out of gas or perhaps just deciding to give up. His hands are out. It looks like his hands are out, meaning that he's going to be giving up here. Officers are going to give him a clear direction here. You can see the K9 unit. Dog's there as well. They're going to tell him to get out of the car, hands in plain view, back up, walk backwards from the Navigator there towards the officers. No abrupt moves. There he is there. Looks like he's got a tank top on, hands behind his back. He's listening to officers. It looks like he's obeying them, doing exactly what they're told. Guns drawn, 5 freeway southbound here, right at the San Onofre nuclear power plant on the border of Orange and San Diego County here, coming to what appears to be a peaceful end. They told him to lift up his shirt. They want to make sure he's got no weapons there. Hands up, keep him behind your back. Face us. Lifted his shirt up again. Gun still drawn here, and they will give him directions, usually to walk backwards and then lay flat on the pavement, arms and legs spread. Then the lead officer will take this individual, this young man, into custody. All because of failure to yield, all because of the fact that he was driving erratically and did not want to pull over. All right, they're having him walk all the way up to the point. Now they're having him kneel down here. We'll see how this comes to an end. Looks like he's looking for a little bit more direction, but he's doing what he's told. He's not resisting at all, and there we go. He's going to be cuffed, taken into custody. Now, we don't know if there's anybody else inside that vehicle. We had not heard of any other suspects. That's why guns are still drawn. Let's widen out a little bit and show that now that we know that the driver is in custody here. They're going to have to clear the car. An officer will walk up to the back of the car. Still have the K9 unit there on the left. That car labeled 704 if they need it. And you can see the driver there definitely in custody now, in cuffs. Now what they're going to do is they're going to have to check out. That's a large vehicle, lots of areas to hide. Dark tinted windows. We never saw anybody inside from our vantage point. The passenger front seat was empty, but in the back seat we just don't know. So we'll see how that unfolds here. Once they clear it, we'll see the 4 fingers, the code 4, and this will officially come to an end. Meanwhile, traffic's backing up. Southbound side of the 5 coming out of Orange County into San Diego County. Traffic is being held. A CHP helicopter continues to circle overhead as well. This pursuit, which started in the San Fernando Valley, West Valley, Agora Hills area, and the Lost Hills Sheriff's Deputies jurisdiction at 12:15 this afternoon. Over 2 hours in this pursuit. Again, the driver just didn't yield. He was driving erratically. They lit him up, didn't pull over, and the pursuit made its way all the way to this point on the South 5. All right, checking the back there, through the tinted windows there. Both officers still have the K9 unit there just in case if needed. I'll open up the back and the back doors there. Look to the back, and once we see, looks like that officer's put his gun back, and this now is officially what we call a code 4, all clear. Pursuit over. Thankfully, nobody hurt.
All right there, folks. Great news there that we were able to see this come to an end, and no one was hurt, including our very, very brave officers.